I would rather play for 5 hours and break even with you guys than play for 20 minutes and win $200, though. That would, I'd rather.
I'll take the walking away even.
Oh,
any day.
Please. Now, guys, here's a real question. We tried this 2 years ago. This year in Vegas, are we going to keep a ledger of our winnings?
No. What? No.
I've got it.
Negative winnings.
This will be year 4 for me of keeping a ledger of everything.
Sick.
Good for you.
Yeah. I tried it 1 year and I got so depressed. I was like, can't keep a ledger anymore. That's how I solve a lot of my problems. Actually, I'm like, boy, I wonder what that feeling is where my base of my penis hurts. And I'm like, well, if I get a checkup, it might tell me something bad. I better not do that. That's the same of me not using a ledger in Las Vegas.
Well, why worry about that stuff?
Why are you messing around with the base anyway?
Yeah, hey, the base is fine.
A lot of nerve endings down there. It just feels
you got
like
a radio on this episode, Rob, or not?
I did, though. I did have a pain in the base of my penis today, and I was walking around, and I was like, you guys were the first guys I thought of. And I was like, sounds like something I could bring up tonight.
I was going to say you better give us the password in case we need to take this down after something bad happens. This would be down so fast, Rob.
If you guys don't know, that is so mean. That's literally...
It would be down before Matt even got to make up something at your funeral about what made you croak.
Rob's in the hospital with a penile injury. And
honestly, guys, I'm trying to keep this podcast in a positive place. Can we not talk about death anymore for this episode? In 2020, 4 friends decided to listen to every one of the greatest 500 albums decided by Rolling Stone magazine. This resulted in a text chain that celebrated the music, excoriated the order, and led us to making this podcast. We are far from experts. We promise to do almost no research. All opinions are our own, unless you disagree. Please sit back and enjoy. Beck did it better. I'm going to put a huge echo on that. I think it's going to sound really good. Biggest echo you've ever heard. We are all the way up to album 179. And you know what Jenny asked me the other day? No, today. She said, how many years do you have left of the podcast? And I was like, we don't talk about it. I said, we're up to like 179. I said, 50 years, 50 episodes a year. You can kind of do the math.
Did she really ask that?
Yeah, she did. And I said,
what do you think the real answer is?
We're not halfway there yet.
I said, but if it stops making us happy, we're not going to do it. Lie. All of us are obsessed with finishing things. That's the biggest lie of all time.
Okay. Have you ever told her, Rob, like, maybe I'm just going to stop doing it. I'm getting a little tired of it.
No, because I have to. That's going to be my ultimate weapon. If she like wakes up and gets mad at me, I'm going to cancel or record. I'm going to say, you made the podcast end. You're the Yoko. And she's going to have to think about it. Okay. And I find when I lash out like that, things go great for me.
Rob, if you really wanted to play it right, you make up a fake recording and you cancel it to do something with your family or to go to bed early or to do something.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, no one needs to know that there wasn't a real recording that night.
Right. Not up to us.
That is, I guess I don't even know how would she know that there was I didn't record then. She would just think I did. It's not like she'd listen to me.
No. It's like 8:00. You go put your headphones on, you start recording. You're like, you know what? I don't need the podcast anymore. I'm going to just take the week off. Tell her, hey, I just told the guys we're taking a break tonight. We're not doing it.
Now, you think when I go to bed with her, she's going to be happier? Like
no.
That's going to be like, no.
Mask on or mask off?
It's like those douchebags. You ever see that on like Instagram or whatever? Those douchebags that come up to their girlfriend or the wives, like, you know what? It's Wednesday night. I'm not going to watch football tonight. I'm going to hang out with you. We can grab some dinner and all this stuff. And every red-blooded American knows that there is no fucking football on Wednesday nights anyway. So, like, what a douchebag.
There's
no football.
I'm going to make her watch the Timberwolves, which seems to be working.
Well, they're good. They're fun.
It's impressive that you've made that.
You did it.
I just can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine being like, Jenny, watch some UFC with me tonight. She'd be like, I love you.
This is once in a lifetime. Like, the Wolves are not going to win the title.
Literally with the Timberwolves.
Yes, the playoffs will be a disappointment. You have to enjoy this regular season. Great regular seasons are not something to take for granted. Like, going out, like, knowing your team is going to win more likely than not every night, you got to enjoy that.
No, this is going to last forever.
Somebody, a comedian, had a nice talk about Minnesota's got a new flag. I don't know if you've seen it, Aaron, or
I don't think I've ever seen the old flag. Has anyone seen any of the flags?
Yeah, the old flag was pretty bad, but the new flag, literally, there's 2 different blues, and then they've got, you know, the blue is supposed to symbolize this is the guy's joke, and so I'm stealing a guy's joke, so it's not my joke, but just so everybody knows. But it says, you know, the blue represents the lake, and then they've got a star that looks like a butthole.
It does look like a butthole.
Yeah.
And the butthole represents Minnesota sports teams because they just all suck so bad. And so we got a really big laugh out of the crowd in New York with that. So I thought it was pretty good.
Listen, it's from 1997. We have a plus size double album from the Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death. All right, guys,
Are you doing it in 2020 anymore? Are we losing this again?
You did it already.
I did it, and then I stopped. I told you I was going to put the big echo on it, Russell.
Oh.
Okay. No.
But it's not as big as this echo. Big echo.
I was at a family reunion this last weekend, and someone who listens to the podcast will go unnamed because they don't want to be named on the podcast.
Yeah, maybe just the first part of the podcast.
The intros have been going pretty long lately. I said, "Do you like that or not?" He kind of just shrugged.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, Russell's uncle.
Anthony,
that you're not enjoying.
Harold.
Can you imagine caring about the opinion of somebody who listens to this podcast? Hey, I listened to your podcast. Yeah, I've listened to about 360 hours. Oh, this is what I think. Well, no, I don't care what you think at all. You've listened to 360 hours of the podcast.
Except for John from Edina, who loves everything about this podcast. And yeah.
Oh, well, John would never criticize us. Okay. Because I know his IP address. I would cut him off. Wouldn't allow him to download it anymore. Okay. We'd stop the podcast out of spite. We wouldn't do it. Just to bug him. Listen. Okay. Let's go to the radio. Okay. Now, for this one, guys, it is, what was I going to say? I don't know. But, you know, I think as my New Year's this year, I'm going to try to grow. I'm going to try to make the intro shorter. Okay. I'm going to think about typing in something about the base of my penis pains into WebMD, see what comes up. All right.
Probably a good idea.
And I'm going to really try to, you know, I think Aaron has been feeling disrespected again. It comes in cycles, comes in waves. All right. So let's work on that a little bit. And let's turn on the radio and see if maybe the song relates to what I just said. Who knows?
What's up, everybody?
We should
Welcome
work on
to
it a lot of it.
K-Rob, K-R-O-B. We got a song
That
today
is
sent
the
in
wrong
by Russell.
week. 100%.
What?
That is 100% the wrong week. All right.
What is happening?
That was, and here we go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to K-Rob, K-R-O-B. You know, tonight you're going to learn that Aaron actually wants me to interrupt. Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rowland going as far as I can see. You can break it into 3 categories. He'll talk to us about the food he eats, the drinks that week, books he reads. If you listen close when Aaron starts up, you'll notice he wants me to interrupt. He wants me to begin with a funny joke, a pun I wrote. It's exactly what he had hoped. After the 4 of us record, I get a TXT thanking me, saying it was so funny, hoping I would never cease. The saddest thing would be if I said quietly when Aaron is talking, he wants me to break in a time or two, just like he wants me to. I don't interrupt Matt or Russell's list, but tonight I can at least promise this. I'll let Aaron say at least 5 sentences. Aaron tries to complete his rolling going every week. But then Rob, he just cannot wait when he has something funny to say. Aaron just wants to complete what he thinks about some meal that week. Then Rob has something to convey, and everybody agrees he's so funny. Wow.
When you want.
Nice, you guys.
Yo.
That's Rapper Alive.
Oh, man. King of New York. That's King of New York shit right there.
Look it up online. If you want to hear from guys who chat.
I'm trying to think of something funny to say, and I can't. That's not a good sign.
It's got to be something about your boudoir photo shoot and be called like Biggie Smalls, right?
Let me ask you guys this.
Did it better.
We had a family friend ask us if they could do a boudoir photo shoot in our apartment. What do you guys think about that? I hate to drop this bomb on you right off the bat.
In your apartment?
Yeah.
What kind of shithole do they live in that they want to use your apartment for this?
I was like, well, I don't. Like, are you gonna have a bunch of pictures of me in the background? Because that'd be kind of.
What kind of perks do you get out of it? Do you get a free print, or do you get a Dwayne Reed gift card, or what's up?
Do you get to keep the sex doll?
I sniffed all the seats in my apartment, and that didn't lead to anything. So I'm not sure what exactly I get out of it.
Okay. You sniffed the seats?
Don't say it like that, Aaron.
Or after that? I'm confused.
Before? What?
No, I don't.
Are we like sniffing your own butt on the couch, Aaron?
Oh, Aaron, who would sniff their own butt on the couch? What's your problem?
What's your problem?
Oh my God.
What's your problem, bud?
What is happening?
You know how hard it is? You know how when you check your breath, you got to lick your hand and smell that, and that's your breath? Okay, you got to smell the couch if you want to see what it really smells like.
No.
That's what Aaron's saying. Gross.
Well,
Listen, I've got 4 guys here. This is Beck Did It Better. We're talking about Biggie Smalls, Life After Death. No. Yes. I'm so confused. These titles of his albums are all sound so similar. And I've got 4 guys here.
All 2 of them?
Well, yeah, because yes, Life After Death and Ready to Die, to me, is the most confusing thing.
That's confusing.
Well, he's got his greatest hits too, but that doesn't confuse me as much. Listen, I've got 4 guys here who have only some problems.
yeah, because we don't have no money yet.
We need more money.
Working on it. We're trying to monetize this thing.
Yeah. I've got Russell in Minneapolis. Russell, how are you doing tonight?
Rob, I love the dough more than you know. Do you know what the beef is? Oh, sorry. That was meant for my cameo on the Wisconsin Lacrosse Cooking Podcast.
Oh, my God. Russell comes on. He's like, I'll only do it if you guys eat meat. Oh, you want me to caress your wife down? Okay. Only if I get to cook real meat on there. And then they eat meat. So like the whole time they're like, my stomach hurts so bad. I haven't eaten meat in 12 years. Russell's like, please don't do that. I'm pumping away on your wife. Don't say stuff like that. Gross me out. Okay. Hey, are you smelling the cushions back there? Is that what you're doing? Oh no, a callback. Now I got to keep that joke in. What a bummer.
I have our notes up. For our Rod Stewart podcast. I'm about halfway through the edit. And I'm half tempted to just write the edits down for this one immediately, Rob.
No, don't do that. The time signatures will get all screwed up. Okay. And Russell, you got to take it in. It's like a wine. You got to let it age a little bit. Okay. Because you never know.
Gotta let it breathe.
I've got Matt in Minneapolis. Matt, how are you doing?
Good, Rob. Just trying to figure out who's the real dookie, meaning who's really the shit. Thanks for having me on the podcast today.
And I've got Aaron out in California. Now, Aaron recently got a model of Mount Everest. He got a model of Mount Everest and he built it. And his wife said, oh, is that to scale? And Aaron was like, well, no, it's just to look at. So small. I mean, you could. Aaron in California. Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm going back to Cali, but I squeezed first, ask questions last. Let's talk about Life After Death, the Notorious B.I.G, the Black Frank White, Biggie Smalls.
All right, let's just get into the voicemail.
You guys know anybody named Frank White? I do.
So stupid.
You do?
I can kiss my ass. God, the listeners are dumb shits. They're just the dumbest of the dumb. God, the listeners are dumb shits. Just the dumbest of the dumb. It's unfortunate how I play this song right when I dumb shit listeners. It's unfortunate how I play that right at a time where I really desperately need voicemails, actually.
Hey, fellas, this is Ben from Minneapolis. I know this is a travel podcast, so I thought I'd share a story. I was just taking a flight from Minneapolis to Vegas, sitting in my seat, boarding process going on, noise-canceling headphones on, when from immediately behind me, I hear a man exclaim, "We're on the wrong plane," which got my attention and all the attention of all the people around us. We were trying to figure.
Now, do you think he means that like in a spiritual sense? Like,
I don't think to be in the astral plane, but I'm on the earthly plane instead.
But again, I don't know. I've never heard this or whatever, so I'm not sure. But he's not on the wrong plane. He got on the right plane. He booked the wrong tickets. Is that?
Oh, we got to let it play out.
I know, but
I don't know yet.
Man, I got news for you. I didn't listen to this either, so this is a big mystery.
How can you get on
a
plane if you're on the wrong? I mean, like they scan tickets and all that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, it only takes 3 points to make a plane. What? Geometry joke coming in hard?
Figure out immediately what happened. How did this person miss all of the signs that they got on the wrong plane? It turns out that they were trying to go to Phoenix, but actually booked the flight to Vegas inadvertently. It was a mistake. So the whole boarding process is happening. They get the flight attendant's attention. All the passengers around us are offering suggestions. Some saying just go to Vegas and drive the 4 hours to Phoenix. Others saying get off. If you get off, do you get your money back? There's all these different considerations.
Honestly, can I just tell you what I would do right now?
What's that?
I wouldn't have said anything. I'd just eat it.
Yep, get to Vegas and then figure out how to get to Phoenix.
There's no way I could let a plane full of people know that I accidentally bought tickets to the wrong place. And if I had said something out loud by accident, like it's one of those things where if Jenny said it out loud, I'd be like, shh, 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 shh. No, we'll figure it out later. Like we cannot
There's
tell.
also 0%, and it's never 0% chance Jenny doesn't say something. Like she'd absolutely would say, we're on the wrong plane.
Right. It would be right out loud. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And then like one of my kids would start crying. You know what I mean? Like we were going to like a birthday party that she really wanted to go to or something. And she's bawling her eyes out. I'm like, and meanwhile I'm back there going like, shh, shh, shut up, shut up. Everybody's like, what? Why are you're a monster.
Phoenix, others saying get off. If you get off, do you get your money back? There's all these different considerations. The whole thing is a complete mystery to me. I have no idea how they walked past. They went through security, got through the gate agent, sat in the plane, started hearing the announcements about going to Vegas, and completely missed it up until that point. But
here's the big one I don't get is when you walk up there, aren't you wondering why the person is standing in front of a sign that says Vegas?
To Las Vegas.
And not Phoenix?
Yeah. Is there a chance they're going to... Matt knows directions a little better than I do. Is there a chance they're going to like the Grand Canyon or a place where you could potentially be flying into one of the two, and they just booked one? They're not going to stay on the Strip, or I think they're going somewhere in between, right?
You'd think, but at the same time, like if you are booking a flight, right, you're booking to a destination. Like the only one that makes complete sense to me is like Austria and Australia. Or something like that, like where you would completely mix it up somehow. You know what I mean? But like you then eventually would figure out like that when you land and I don't know, things like that. But Phoenix and Las Vegas, I don't get how you'd mess that up. But
it'd be weird if you were in Vienna and you were like, wait a minute, nobody's throwing another shrimp on the Barbie.
Right.
That is.
There are no Fosters here. I'm really looking forward to having a Foster.
You're flying with Aaron, and he's like, well, the age of consent is different in both countries, too. And you're like, what? How do you know that? That's what you know? That's so weird.
Both Phoenix and Vegas are approximately 3.5 to 4 hours from the Grand Canyon. My prediction is trip to the Grand Canyon. They had talked about flying into one airport. Someone made a mistake and booked them flying into the other airport, and they didn't think anything of it until they got on the plane.
You know what I would do if they were sitting by me, and I'd be like, listen, I actually work at Delta. Give me $400 cash right now. Okay. And when you get off this plane, I will call my boss and I will have somebody come and meet you. Okay. And they will help you out because obviously you are dealing with two people who don't know what's going on, and you might as well take advantage of them, okay? Because they're going to Vegas. They're super rich, okay? Or they're going to Phoenix for retirement. You're going to get every last dime. But either way, okay, you've earned that money, Aaron, and that's what I've learned from this album. You got to get that money any way you want.
Love the dough.
And also, I thought I had a beef with you guys, but it turns out I don't.
What is beef?
I just want to say nasty words. That's it. Oh, wait.
Would your guys' reaction to be on the wrong plane differ if you had your kids or family or you were on your own?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
What if you were on your own? What would you do?
Never tell anybody.
I'd go to wherever I'm going.
Time to open that folder I have in Google Drive that says fake my death. Okay. Let's go through the plan. Let's get it going here. Okay, I guess I live in Vegas now. I can never tell anybody this story.
I live in Vegas now. Oh my God. You're going to live with me now, Chunk.
I mean, I'm in Vegas now?
Baby Ruth?
Can you imagine, by the way, if I lived in Vegas? Oh my God. It would take me 1 year and I would have the biggest house because I'd be so rich. Oh my God, guys, we're going to win so much money this weekend. I could hardly stay at it. Nothing could possibly go wrong. You know what my thought was today? I was like, I'm definitely going to get sick. I'm going to get sick like Thursday flying out there. I know I am.
Now, there's a story behind this. Would anyone care to share? Because we did go through 2 episodes since Christmas and have not heard much about this sort of thing. We heard about a noodles trip, but we didn't hear a lot about other Christmas escapades.
Oh.
Well, now listen.
Aaron, I'm willing to forego my rolling going to hear the extended version. Are you willing to forego your?
Go
ahead. I'm willing. We can do this.
I'm listening. Yeah.
Well,
Are you
first
talking
of all,
about me
let's say,
getting?
hey,
Are you talking
we got
about
to say thanks, Ben from Minneapolis, fairly new listener.
Yeah.
Great guy. Thanks for calling in, Ben.
Hey, you know
the guy
what?
that takes my advice?
He does. He
I'm
takes your
sorry
advice.
that we
Yeah.
answered your question before you even asked it, Ben. Please call
He
in
lives
again.
right down the river from you too, Russell. You guys are practically neighbors.
Well, let's not make it creepy, but
As a gift, let's play this little song just to
It's time
celebrate.
For Beck
We all were all thinking it.
that was a great
Plain old
voice.
story time.
All right. These are the stories that I like.
Meanwhile, Ben's dog's like taking a shit next to these guys on the plane, but he's like,
We're gonna hear about your flight tonight.
Oh, yeah.
all I know is, Rob, I was maybe I knew some people that were maybe going to see you a while back, and it turned out you flew in, you didn't feel good for a day or so. And then I heard like you went to Shake Shack and brought that on the plane. You went to a Buffalo Wild Wings. You had something. I think you got to limit the food at an airline, right?
Okay, so it could have been. Now, it's true. When I flew into Minnesota, we arrived at my in-laws at 4:30 in the morning. Okay, they threw back the sash. Okay, and they saw that we were there. All right. Now, what made me sick? What made me throw up that next day? Because I watched the Vikings game and for some reason threw up. Okay. And then when it was time to hang out with my family, I got really sick and I had to go upstairs, and I'm serious. Okay. I really got sick and I really had to go upstairs
Clark?
by myself and sleep.
Really?
Now, it could have been, the Shake Shack that I wolfed down in the seat because I was embarrassed that it smelled.
On the plane.
It could have been the Buffalo Wild Wings that we got with our credit the second time we got off the plane.
Definitely the Buffalo Wild
Okay.
Wings.
Because I did get multiple spices. Okay. Lots of different spice kinds. And a couple drinks. And that's it. Okay. And a lot of fries. I don't know if they're cleaning out the fryers or what, but they brought up more fries than you should give to a person. And I ate almost all of them. 2
meals in one airport, I think is a sign for disaster.
There's also another thing.
Yes.
Okay. Jenny needed, and this, I cannot express to you how important this is, salad dressing. Okay. Now, where do you buy salad dressing in an airport? Okay. Well, the answer is those salad vending machines, right? They got the vending machines with a jar of salad. She took the dressing out, gave it to me. I ate the whole thing. All right.
I'm sorry. You just ate the salad dressing?
I ate the salad dressing. No, what? The salad dressing after she had the salad after she had taken the dressing.
You keep saying you ate the whole salad dressing.
No, I ate the whole salad.
There we go.
Okay.
Did you toss it first?
I'm pretty sure.
Aaron.
Actually, you know what?
I mean,
honestly,
your brother used to listen to this podcast.
he would, and if I didn't make that joke, he would be disappointed.
I made the biggest mess eating that salad, and he was humiliated because they were like, I would bet 20 small pieces of salad under me when I was done, and I was just eating a salad, and I was like, everybody's gonna know it's me. Like, this isn't a kid's mess. This is an adult. When you see salad on the ground, that's an adult who made that mess. That is not a kid.
It's not Doritos. It's not Goldfish.
No, not Cheerios. I used to eat Cheerios in the backseat of my car all the time, Aaron. My wife never knew. She never knew who it was. Okay. I mean, I was down there sniffing the cushions anyways. I might as well have
have some Cheerios.
Have a little treat. Can't edit it out now. It's a callback. Rob, if you edited it out earlier, sorry about that. It's my bad.
You can't down roughage Shake Shack and the B-dubs before getting on a plane. You can't do it.
A recipe for
Not
disaster.
especially from an airport.
Yeah, you're right, because I was super sick. And then you know what happened is that we went somewhere else, and I can't say where because she'd be really bad if she found out that my kid threw up at her house. So it wasn't my sister's place. But my kid gets sick, goes into the bathroom, and comes out and goes, sorry. And I go, no, don't say that to me. Don't go into the bathroom, throw up, and then come out and say you're sorry. That's incredibly bad.
Also, if she didn't brush her teeth after, she probably has a cavity. So you're gonna
Aaron, you know what? It's my kid.
Out.
I'll raise them how I want. Okay? Don't tell me how to fucking raise my kids.
I was making a different kind of joke that Rob doesn't want to make.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I'll listen back to the edit.
Here's the other thing, too. I don't think your sister gets enough credit, Rob, for the nice things she does every time you're in town. She had that birthday party for you the one time. She hosts you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every time you come in. I think we deserve a few podcast claps for her because she's for putting up with you and your family.
There's a 50%. You know what? Well, I'll give my sister. Okay.
Yeah.
She does charge an exorbitant fee though for late payments. I'll just say that. 18% of the maximum allowable rate for an overpayment on that dental work is a bit steep.
I thought we were done with this. I was trying to be nice. We're turning a page here.
I'm sorry.
We're turning a page.
I came out. I went into that bathroom, okay, that my kid had been in.
No.
There was throw up on the toilet, in the shower next to it, on the door, on the other side then, by the sink. I was like, how did it go both ways? My kid goes, and all over, like I had to like take a toilet paper and like put it in between the seat and the thing and like floss it. Like that's when you know.
But maybe she should say sorry.
Yeah, sorry feels like.
So I said, well, what? I said, what happened in here? You throw up in the toilet. Like, what's your problem? You know, yelling at the sick person. Classic dad.
Yeah,
move.
that's a classic.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
Oh, and you made something that was accidentally done. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you the business about that. Really helpful. It's gonna help. Yep. And she goes. I didn't think I would throw up twice.
That's a fair point.
And I was like, it's not, because everyone throws up twice every time. Nobody in the history of the world has ever just gone, bleh. Well,
yeah, but the second one
Goodbye.
is always a surprise. Every time you're like, I think I'm done. And then
you got to keep down there.
There's always one more. There's always one more.
We're all there. We're all looking into a bowl that smells like vinegar. Okay. We don't like it. You cannot pick your head up. Okay. Because you know the second time it's coming.
Keep your head down.
Yeah. It's like saying, oh yeah, that's right. I'll just take a little number 2 and I'm not going to pee this time. Okay. Are you David Blaine? That would be a David Blaine special I'd watch. Listen, let's get into Rollin' Going.
It's
5 sentences, Aaron.
It's time
I'm going to give
to see what everybody's up to.
I appreciate you.
It's time for Rollin'.
That's 1. You didn't know your Rollin' Going started, but when I interrupted.
Yeah.
So it didn't start yet. Aaron, Rollin' Going. How's it going with you?
It's going great. I did not eat anything interesting this week that I can recall. I had sushi Friday night. That's my son's choice for everyone's birthdays this year. So we had sushi Friday night for Anna's birthday. We're going to have sushi next Thursday night for my birthday. So nothing exciting to report there. Did tonight hang out with some friends. You have those friends who just like, if your wine glass is empty, they will fill it up. Another one of those nights.
Good friends.
See. Yeah, great friends. Yeah, we had a super fantastic time. The kids all stayed up way later than usual, so we were out partying late. So I do want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you for staying up late to record with me. Rob, anything you need to say? You're doing great right now, Rob.
That was one of the hardest things I've ever been through in my entire life. And this is what I'm talking about.
I can see the sweat on your forehead.
Russ and
you got
Matt
sweat.
were sitting there. And Aaron said, that's what my son picked for our birthdays this year. And nobody said anything. And it was on sentence 3. And I almost threw up. That's what my son picked for our birthdays this year?
Rob, could you imagine if you had to go to Noodles for your birthday next year?
Oh my God.
I don't know, man. Like we had like my birthday's coming up this coming Thursday, and we had a babysitter booked. We were gonna go out to dinner, and then I was like, I don't know, like how much longer is my son gonna want to have dinner with me? Like I want to have dinner with my family on my birthday.
I'm with you.
Yeah. And
you know what, Aaron? Can I tell you a secret about teenage kids?
Yeah.
All they want from you is free food. They're starving all the time. They will want to go out to eat with you all the time. In fact, I think eating with older kids, it gets better and better because they'll go eat with you and like have a normal conversation and they're actually like people.
But so that's what's going on in my life. But I have something I want to ask you. Like I sincerely want to ask you guys about.
Sideways.
Have you? So you all are professionals, head to toe. Have you all been in a conversation where someone uses the verb suck more often in a work conversation than seems appropriate? And so like I'll give you, so here's what happened. I work in data like analytics, and so we're talking.
Aaron, I just want to
upper middle management.
I want to point out you do work for Bissell Vacuums.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just be careful here.
Sure does suck.
So I'm talking to this guy, and he keeps saying like, "Yeah, well, that's how we can take that data, we can just suck in that data, and we can suck in data from anywhere, and then like if we just suck in that data, then we can like do this or that." And I was like, there are so like you could say ingest, import, transform, grab, whatever. Has this ever happened to you guys? Whatever it is, like I thought I was being, I don't know. It just felt like, is anyone else on this phone call thinking you should not use this term in that way, or is there something wrong with me?
I can tell you who would love this conversation is the actor Brett Spiner. He'd be like, "Oh, I feel no emotion, but I do love this, even as a cyborg." Or an android. I'm sorry, he was an android.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
His name was Data on Star Trek.
You know who else, Rob? That one kid who had the pinches of power in Goonies.
Data.
He would love this conversation as well.
So this is fine. You can just talk that way. You guys wouldn't if you were on this phone call.
It feels like everybody's got
double take?
somebody. Yeah, somebody's got, and I'm trying to remember the word. There's a lady in my office who used some word like, it wasn't suck, but it was something else where I just wanted to say, that's what she said. That's what she said. That, 9,000 every single time. That's what she said. But you can't, right? And you have to just get it out on the podcast because you can't even talk to your subordinates about it, can you? Because what do you have, 17, 18 people underneath you now?
Only 13, but can't bring that up.
That's like I used to work at a place that made staircases. All right. And we would look to see how many people could make it down and how many people would trip and have an accident. We would call that our fall ratio. Fell is because it's in the past, so it's actually a fell ratio. And so we would always talk about, how much do you like the fell ratio? You go home and talk to your wife about fell ratio. Oh my God.
That reminds me, actually, my mom's dog's name is Angus, and when we were leaving, when we were leaving her house, I would say, "Did you kennel Angus?" And I had you have to be very careful about where you place the glottal between kennel Angus. You got to have some space in there.
It seems to me in a professional setting, the word suck should probably only be used once in a conversation, right?
Right.
Yes. Because there is a sexual connotation with it. And if, someone comes in and you say, "Oh, how was your weekend?" They say, I dinged my car," whatever you say, that sucks. That's the only appropriate time to use that in a professional setting. Don't you think?
Yes, there's so many other options. You don't need to, how many times does Biggie talk about getting his dick sucked on this album? What else do you think about when you hear the word suck? You can't.
I mean, if I came into work and I was like, "Listen, I accidentally got on a plane. I went to the Philippines." I'll tell you right now, that stunk. Yes. But I was there for a couple of days, so I walked around and I got sucked off for money. Oh. And you're like, okay, that's the one.
It'd violate the rule of one.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one time. You got it.
Professional conversation.
Thank you.
I should have maybe gone to the advice corner for that. Thank you guys for talking me through it. But how's it rolling going with Russell? That's what I'm curious about right now.
Rolling going. Things are going good. The whole point of I actually came across a article in the Star Tribune the other day that really made me start thinking about this podcast, why we're doing the podcast. And I thought I wanted to share with you and share the lesson from the article. I thought you guys would appreciate it.
Please.
So the article, if anyone's looking for it, is called Siblings Sought Wyzetta's Best Pizza, I believe it's called. And so essentially it's about this younger adult and her brother. I think her brother had some sort of maybe Down syndrome, or he had some sort of challenge, but her and her brother had started this quest a while back where they started going to get the best burgers in Wyzetta. They went to all 12 different burger spots with the intention of going to them, kind of rating them, doing the exact type of thing I would love to do, making a list, kind of scoring things or whatever. And so then her and her brother decided to do this new quest, and it was, let's go find the best pizza in Wyzetta. So we're going to go to all these pizza places, I think they went to 12 pizza spots over a month period or something like that, right? Trying out all this stuff, which seems like such a fun adventure to me. You get to try new things, go places maybe you wouldn't have gone otherwise. So I really like the idea, but she wrote in this article a couple paragraphs here. I want to just share with you guys and see if it makes you think about what we're doing on the podcast.
All right.
She says, throughout our quest, I savored sampling each slice, but more so I reveled in observing Teddy's reaction to the food, to the people, and to the experience. Once again, and not surprisingly, he liked them all. Pure joy spread across his face as every pizza was placed before us. No matter the spice level, the cheese type, or the amount of sauce, his initial reaction included words such as perfect, delicious, and just right. He ate every shape, type, and flavor without the slightest hint of displeasure or critique. She goes on to say about herself now, while undeniably frustrating to someone who approached this quest with the intention of ranking the city's top spots, it also led me to consider just how often I compare and how unproductive it can be. While I'd focused on faults in order to prioritize, Teddy had arrived at each establishment genuinely eager to sample another pizza, with absolutely no desire to place one above the other. Each was a treat and all were uniquely delicious. I'd come into this quest to push Teddy and once again found myself being pushed by him, realizing the truths that extend well beyond pizza consumption. Life becomes much happier when you choose to enjoy rather than compare.
Wow.
And I listened to that and it made me think about this podcast and is the rating system that takes away from our enjoyment of the podcast. This was all built out of the list, but this whole lesson is when you go into something like trying to find faults or trying to find critiques, you're never going to enjoy it as much as if you just went into it with an open mind, right?
I mean, there is one great philosopher who said, life's a journey, not a destination. And that feels like where we're going with this list. Enjoy every notch on the list without making a comparison.
Now, let me ask you, have you guys listened to next week's album?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we can say
out of that one.
we can say all we want right now. All right. But we're listening to Biggie, one of the best albums of all time. It's going to get a little tougher next week. I'm just going to say that right now. But I think that applies so much. I mean, Matt recently had a birthday, so we all were on the text chain saying nice things about Matt. And one of the things I said is like, Matt's literally changed the way I view life. Right. Yeah. And part of it was like, you just have to have philosophy, stick with it. Decisions all get easy when you have that. But another thing is that when we started, we did a test run where we got in a huge fight about Radiohead or something. Not a fight, but it was just not like we actually thought we were like music critics.
I was being a dick.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, that's what it was.
We're gonna release that episode, aren't we?
Someday.
Essentially, you're right. Though.
This is why Russell and I are staying alive. It's the only reason, because I know if I die, Russell's going to delete the podcast. He knows if he dies, I'm releasing that episode. That's what the fans want.
Essentially, I savaged that because I did not like it, and I savaged it. I didn't savage it once, which would have been fair. I did it like every track.
But haven't you ever gone out to? I mean, we talked about this other week when we were talking about people going out to eat. Right? And complaining about the service. And then that's all you can think about. And it just brings you down. And it's like, there's always negative stuff. Like there's always, and I see this a lot in New York too, of like, people are like, no, you can't say sorry in the subway. You got it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be who I am. But Russell, that's totally what this is, right? Is that we started by saying, oh, is this really the best album? And now we're just like, oh, this is a great album. Like I enjoyed this. Like I learned stuff about Biggie this week that I didn't know. And it's fantastic. I think it's perfect. Now, do I wish instead we were eating pizza at a normal time instead of starting at 12:30 my time, talking about an album that I listened to twice a day? Yeah, but
are you saying this would have been more fun if it was done at a normal hour, Rob? Are you comparing?
You know what, Russell, you got me. Okay, I will just tell you right now, I'm having a great time. All right, I'm not going to compare. I'm just going to enjoy. You're totally right.
So rolling going, that was my experience. Was I read something in the Star Tribune and it related back to our journey and made me think about the way we're looking at things.
That's beautiful.
So,
Thank you for sharing.
Rolling going, Matt, have we gone to you yet or not? Rolling going, how's it going with you?
Nope. I'll go. I'll keep to my promise so Rob can get to his second rolling going, and I'm pretty sure. I hate to bring this up about my dad, but I think he's starting to lose it just a tiny little bit, and I got to tell you what he does now. He's got a brand new truck. He's got one of those new. It's a Ford Maverick.
Wait, Matt. How many trucks does he got?
Just one.
Oh, not 20.
Oh, not 20. No.
Okay. Well, now wait a minute, though, man. Because here's the thing.
How much did he pay for that one truck?
If I wanted to go see 20 trucks, I mean, that would cost me probably thousands of dollars, right? Like,
I would think so.
Yeah.
No, not quite that. I bet, Rob.
Okay.
I bet there's somewhere out there that you could probably see 20 trucks for probably $20.
That's a bucket truck. Man,
That would be a bucket truck.
that's a bucket
That would
truck.
be a
Okay,
bucket.
now, man, the thing is, if I paid for a buck for a truck, why, I would be able to sit on my whole seat, right?
Well,
yes.
You're going to buy the whole seat.
I'd buy the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
What if you accidentally spent $21 for 21 trucks? Would you tell anyone or just go forward with the transaction?
You bought the ticket to the wrong place.
I think you would have to just go forward with it, Russell. And then, but just make sure you use the arm chair and maybe lean back. Everyone use the whole chair that time, not just the edge of it.
Well, and especially if you see somebody out there sniffing seats. I mean, if you're just sitting on the edge, they're going to be disappointed.
So your dad's got his truck.
And he's obsessed with not getting it dinged, right? Somebody opening the doors on it.
Yes.
So he has started taking pictures of the car to the left and the car to the right of him.
Oh, yes.
So that when
We're into this stage.
he comes out and if he sees his car got dinged, he knows what car that was.
Mm-hmm.
Now this seems completely batshit crazy to me.
Right. And not that accurate because another car could just pull up and park.
It could.
And that one-
right.
Yeah.
It could. So
And does he
I don't know.
delete? Yeah, like how does he keep track? So does he
I don't
delete
know,
these
because-
photos every time? Because eventually you might lose track.
yeah, my mom, and he's trying to find an old picture of one of my sons at a birthday, something like this. And my one older one, Leo, says, "What are all these pictures of cars?"
Yeah.
And Grandma's like, "Oh, he takes pictures." And I'm like,
Oh,
my God, that's the yeah. Oh,
You know what?
yeah.
I get it though, because if my wife just slowly said like, "Oh, I'm gonna just take a picture of all these cars that are parked by us," like at first I'd be like, "Don't do that, that's silly." And then after about the 10th time, I'd be like, "Yeah, no, it's just what your mom does. She takes pictures of the trucks now."
Oh,
Is there anything else that your parents do that's weird that they never did when you were a kid that they do now? And an example that I have is my dad now, if he goes to like a Subway or a pizza place, he says his name is Tony. Now, my dad's name is Rob. He never did this growing up. I don't know why he started doing it now, but everywhere he's Tony. And in fact, we went to a pizza place and I called it in. He goes, "Well, I can't go in." Rob called in. They think I'm Tony. I can't go in and pick it up. Like, I don't know where it came from, but anything like that where you guys are like, what is going on?
My mom
There's a
is,
lot of stuff, but go ahead.
My mom has found like the weird things in life to be like, oh no, they're not getting me on this one. So like the example would be, like if her like one like the tire in her air is down like 1 ounce of air pressure, that is for sure going into the car dealership. That's fine. But she once got like a free keychain from a car dealership and it broke. And she was like, "Oh, I'm going back in there to get a new keychain." And I was like, "This thing cannot cost more than like 49 cents. And you're going back in to get a new keychain?" And she's like, "They gave me a crappy keychain. I'm going in to get a new one." I was like, "Okay, you do you."
Yeah, no, that's how they get you, Russell. The keychain is a lost leader. I don't have time to explain this to you. Okay, I will later.
There's a lot of things with like logins to like Netflix or things like that where you just know that there's just something really simple. Like something's just like either caps lock, but he just goes, it ruins their day. It's like 3 hours of pure, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And it's like, I'll be over in 5 minutes and we'll fix this and go from there. There's just little things like that.
Yeah, the TV one has been for my mom. So it took her a long time to accept, I'll use Russ's Netflix. I can see there's other shows on Netflix other than what she's had on basic cable for, 50 years. But so she like is insistent on only using Netflix on the iPad. And I've explained, I can hook this up on your TV. I could get you bigger. No, I do not want it on the TV.
No,
I only want it on the iPad. I've offered, hey, you could access HBO. I've got all these other, you could expand your world of possibilities tenfold. I've got all these services. No, I only want the Netflix and I only want it on my iPad. How about you, Aaron? Your parents have any quirks like that?
I don't.
Well, Aaron might not be the best judge.
You're not as close to them either. Like Russell, like mine live a mile and a half, from me, things like that. So we see these little things all the time.
That's what makes it even harder because like my dad will be at the cabin. He's like, "Well, how do I illegally pirate this football game?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, here's the site I like to use." And then I'm like, does he have a pop-up blocker, an ad pop-up blocker? Did I install that last time I was there? Because if he opens this up and he gets like 4 porn ads, That's bad. Like, I cannot recommend porn ads to my dad because then I had to show him how to go use private mode. You know what I mean? Like, first turn on private browsing. He's like, yeah, I've got that on already.
Yeah, there's no way he doesn't know that. It's like on permanently.
Yeah, why do you have that on?
I would say the only generation gap thing I can remember recently with my dad, and maybe this is more of a geographic gap than generation, but I was with him in Arizona and he had the car he had rented was the same make and model as my car. And he was like, hey, Aaron, I can't figure out, like, you're supposed to be able to lock this car without a key. Can you show me how to lock the car? And I was like, Dad, I don't lock my car. And he thought that was the funniest fucking thing. And I was like, Dad, I was like, why would I lock my car? Like, somebody's just going to break the window. Like, I'd rather they open it and take the aux cord.
No,
like, I'm not locking my car.
I am with you. I'm with you.
No.
If they want it, they're going to get in there. And so then instead of just losing your aux cord, you got to go get a new window and a new aux cord.
Right. Yeah. I don't lock my car.
Yeah.
No, that's
Rob, rolling going. How's it going with you?
Listen, can you guys explain to me?
I didn't lock a car for 20 years. And then after living in my new place, it took me about 2 weeks and a mistake and someone rummaging through my car. It is now locked.
It's locked. Yeah. All right. I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah. Catalytic converter is inside. Okay. I took it inside. Please do not look for it. You don't need it. Can you guys explain to me the relationship between Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan? What is going on there? So just tell me who they are. They are Scottie Pippen's.
What I know is it's Scottie Pippen's ex-wife and Michael Jordan's son.
Yes.
And they got married.
Oh, married or dating?
They got married.
Now I
thought they got married.
I sent you guys this quote.
I didn't know they were married.
I sent you guys this quote, and Larsa Pippen has come out and said that she and Marcus Jordan have sex 5 times a night. And that is way more than she did with ex-husband Scottie Pippen. Now, when I first read that,
that's great.
I was like, wow, what a dig on Scottie Pippen. You know what I mean? Like, that is what a nasty, like, if my wife broke up with me, went with somebody famous, you know, and then said, oh yeah, I'm having way more sex with this guy than I ever did with Rob, that's a bummer.
But it's not even someone's famous. It's someone's famous's kid. Like, he's less famous than her ex. Yeah, it's it's a
whole
tangled web.
ex-teammate adds the whole.
Wouldn't that be a bummer, Aaron? Listen, when my wife divorces me, fine, don't blame her. I honestly, just looking in the Zoom camera right now, and I've got video like plussing on, like it's cranked all the way up. Still, I get it. A lot of things just in this area of what you're seeing right here, not working out. Okay, great.
You're growing your hair out. You're growing your hair out so you can get a sweet mullet for the
handsome Rob. I don't know.
It's not because I'm too lazy to go in and get my hair cut, man. So I'm thinking there. But so then she comes out and says, "Yeah, I'm having way more sex now." And I'd be like, "Well, I don't need to know that."
That's just insult to injury. Yeah, it's insult to injury.
Yeah, but then you realize that she's saying she has sex 5 times a night. Well, you know what? I don't think I've ever said this in my life, and I don't think I'm ever going to say it again. That's too much sex. Sex 5 times a night.
Can't we just keep it on like a quarterly rotation?
That pause for effect was phenomenal, Rob.
Yeah.
That was top 10.
This is a stolen joke, but NBA players are used to load management. So I would see, like, you would just, it'd be like, it's just Gatorade. You just have a mini fridge next to your bed and it'd be full of Gatorade.
She says probably 5 times a night. In theory, that means there's nights with 3 and nights with like 9.
7. 9. Oh, 9. Wow.
It's an average.
Like if they're, they're like if probably 5 is not like, oh, it was one night in Cancun, probably 5 means there's got to be nights where you're bordering on double digits, right?
I physically don't think.
I'm not sure
I could do that. Like if I held a knife to you right now and I said, go have sex 3 times tonight, could you do that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Aaron.
That was quick.
God, you're good.
Yeah.
3 times.
Sorry, my family's listening, but
3 times in a night. You could just go do that. You're not going to get tired. Like, can I tell you what's happening to me now? I don't know if it's the jujitsu or the powerlifting or the dehydration or the cut or whatever is going on. 90% of the time, massive hamstring cramp.
Oh,
huge hamstring cramp to the point where I have to go into the shower and put the warm water on my hamstring so it loosens up. Okay? That's
well. Do you have
bad.
a Theragun or like? Can't you just be on the bottom?
Oh yeah. Oh,
what are we doing here?
You think it's that simple?
I Feels
think
like
it's
a
that
reasonable
simple?
solution.
You went to college with Rob's wife. This is inappropriate.
You
I'm
think
just trying to help.
you think
Doing
it's
my
that
Dr.
simple
Drew
where
over here.
I just be like, oh, can I be on the bottom? Aaron, I got news for you. This is like a reverse WWE match. We're all trying to get on the bottom. Okay. And no, I don't have a Theragun. That would just get me all excited again. That would get me up to 3 times. That's too much. Man, you having sex 3 times in a night if you had to?
Maybe if I absolutely had to.
Okay.
You should get a Theragun, Rob. I've got one. They're great.
Oh, no, I've got
They
one.
work at night?
I've got
okay.
one. But I don't... Can't be doing that right after. Like, my wife's trying to go to sleep, and I'm like,
before.
no.
Wait, you got to go get in the shower
before.
anyway. Can't you just...
Oh, you know what? You're right. Before, man. Maybe I need to do some calisthenics or like some
warm-ups.
some warm-ups.
Maybe a little what do they used to call that? Karaoke down the hall, down your hall, and and then come back in.
The old karaoke.
Yep.
Why did they call it that? That's such a bizarre
I have no
thing.
idea.
Can I tell you guys? I played in a staff student basketball game this week. My jiu-jitsu has done something to my brain where I now realize I'm also very bad at basketball. You know what I mean? Like I used to think I was a super athlete and I'm good at all this stuff. I also now suck at basketball.
And you used to do sports growing up.
I airballed a free throw in front of the whole school.
I would do that. Yeah,
I airballed.
No
a free
shame.
throw.
I would do that.
It was
How often do you shoot baskets, though, Rob?
Never, because I'm a little bit too muscular to get like the getting both hands like this. I'm kind of struggling.
Can't hit the gooseneck.
But it was bad. It was really bad. So Russell, what do you think? Is 5 times a night? Is that too much?
I was just looking up. They're not actually married, Matt. I don't know where you got that.
They're not married?
You got to check your.
Well, I'm gonna fully admit that I do not keep up on the sex lives of Michael Jordan's kid or the personal lives of them, so I have no idea. I just thought
Jordan is a competitive guy. Does he see that article and be like, I got to ramp it up? My son is better at me than something, or what?
I haven't wanted to bring this up, but speaking of dad, son
bring
stuff,
the Last Dance home, huh?
Speaking of son's father son stuff, have you guys seen what the Speaker of the House has with his son? Where they are honest with each other about whether or not they've watched pornography. They're each other's accountability buddies.
Oh my God.
He has come out and admitted this, that he and his son will tell each other if they've watched pornography. Now,
this guy.
Should we all do that? How about this, guys?
sounds like they're engaged, Russell. They are engaged. According to New
Speaker of the
York.
House and his son? That'd be some
Marcus
news.
Jordan and Larissa.
Marcus Jordan gets married and he's ever since marriage, we only have sex once a night. It's like it's down 80%. It's terrible. Let me ask you this. Should we draw straws? And whoever loses, and I'm serious about this, we have to have a parent be our porn accountability buddy. And we have to have that conversation with their parent. Guys, that is a fun game to play. It is high stakes.
I would love if that conversation were recorded with certain parents. I would love to hear those outcomes.
I'm just telling you right now, I get nervous now when my parents are calling me on the phone.
It's time.
You know what I mean? Like they call me on the phone now and I'm like, oh, this is bad. If that was the case, I'd be like, I'm not picking this up.
Is this the porn accountability phone call?
Yeah. Who's calling me at 1:30 in the morning?
I would draw straws if it was going to be Rob's mom. I would love it if Rob's mom was his porn accountability buddy.
All right. No,
Right?
not doing that.
Wasn't she a doctor? She'd get all like technical with it. It'd be awkward.
You have, certain biological impulses. No, but what if she called him?
Tell
and
me
she
about
was
these
like,
pains. Yeah. Tell me about these pains at the base. What is that about, Rob?
Because she also has to divulge that information. She's been watching porn.
Technically, it's true. It could explode.
Okay, actually, this bit is actually not funny. Okay, so it's actually not good. You'd be like, well, at least you're not eating candy.
No.
Like, you don't know.
What would Rob, if your mom was watching porn, what would the guys be doing in Rob's mom porn?
Having an organized desk. You know what I mean? Like their kid would have an organized backpack. They would not wear socks outside. That would probably be the number one thing. Mom, I'm going outside. I'm going to put on shoes.
All their papers are properly put into the folders and then into the backpack.
They go into their car and it's clean. You know what I mean? There's not just junk everywhere. My mom's just jacking off to a clean car.
Your sister's going to love this.
She's cranking off because I did know that person I went to high school died. Oh, yeah.
No. The person that will not be named, when I was asking him if he was talking about the podcast a lot, and he did say, I'm pretty sure at least 3 of the 4 of you would get fired at your job if anyone ever heard this.
At the vacuum company? No way.
And after tonight, Aaron will makes it 4 out of 4.
So did it. Yes. Nailed it.
Oh no, I hope I don't get fired. What will I do?
You be your dad's accountability buddy too. You'll have free time.
Like me getting the same grades as my friend who got caught smoking in high school. So I was like, why don't you get the same grades as this kid? They got caught smoking. Never heard about him again, ever. My mom, it's like a repeat video of me just throwing away my Xbox. I hate video games. I don't want to play video games.
I knew you could do it, Rob.
Thank you. I feel like that was a good one. Okay. Not going to think that when I'm editing it in the clear light of day. Okay. It's like opening up your phone. You didn't. This is wrong. Should have done this. Yeah. Now, we are talking about, where's my stuff? We are talking about Life After Death. Okay. Notorious B.I.G. 1997. Okay. Now, I'm just going to tell you guys the list I have is a little depressing. Biggie's second album is supposed to be released on Halloween of 1996. Okay, if we all remember the big storm, it was 96, not the right year, I think. But it was pushed after a car accident.
91?
Yeah, 92, I think. I think we're 91. But it was pushed back after a big car accident, which is why in a ton of photos around this time, you see Biggie with a cane. That's the car accident that he had the cane from. Basically, Puff Daddy was like, I want to expand Biggie fan base to all these other people. So we're going to try different kinds of songs. We're going to have lots of guest artists come in. And a lot of it was a diss track to other artists like Nas, West Coast, and of course Tupac catches a couple strays in this whole thing. And then Biggie, I saw an interview with him because I go on TikTok now and I look up the artist, right? And I got news for you next week. Not a lot of TikToks about love, but for Biggie,
they don't even have a website. They just have a Facebook page.
Oof.
Love.
What is that? Oh. I looked and I was like, oh, they're big in Britain. What a big surprise. Every band where I don't know jack shit about them is big in Britain. Anyway, I saw an interview with Biggie and Russell, you had said that Biggie got bigger, like he was in his big phase at this one. Okay. He was large and in charge in this interview. And he said basically, Ready to Die was about how his life was so bad. He just said, I'm already dead. Life After Death is now that he got famous, coming out of that life, kind of what it's going to be like and all that stuff. But we're still looking at this kind of mafioso rap, talking a lot about like actual real time gangster stuff and killing people and stuff like that. However, of course, the tragic story with this album, 16 days before the release of this album, Biggie is shot and killed in a drive-by in LA. And that brings me to tonight's list.
Oh, a list.
Right off the bat. Okay.
A list before the album.
Okay. And this list is the happiest birthday songs. Oh, no, wait. I misread that. This list is people who had their songs released posthumously. So they had died before these songs came out. Now, of course, we've got some honorable mentions. Okay. We've already talked about Otis Redding, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, that album. Bob Marley had an album come out, Confrontation, which is where the song Buffalo Soldier was on. It was actually found like in the vault after he passed away. And a lot of people don't know this, but Big Bopper wrote a song called I'm Going to Buy a Parachute in Moorhead Right When I Land. Okay. He had just recorded that.
Very poignant.
Yeah. Not as popular.
Even.
Not as popular, but you could see where that was. You could see where somebody would be proud of that joke. So they kind of want to wallow in it for a little bit. They just want to savor that joke.
Roll around it like a little piggy.
Yeah, exactly. The first one, Graham Parsons. Now, we know Graham Parsons best from pretty much getting high and drunk. In fact, so much so that the Rolling Stones kicked him out of their house in France where they were recording
the Flying Burrito Brothers,
their album. I don't know exactly, but he did this song. He did the original version. He's low on the list because I don't like this version of it. But
he wrote original Love Hurts.
He wrote Love Hurts.
Wow.
He dies
for its placement in a King of the Hill episode, but not this version.
He dies from tequila and morphine overdose before this album comes out. His roadie immediately steals his body, brings him to Joshua Tree, douses him with gasoline, and burns him because that was his last wishes. Okay?
Oh.
Now again, guys, my last wish. You need to set up recurring payment to Podbean. Okay, so this podcast will live forever. I have put too much work into this.
That podcast would be down before Aaron could even get you on the wrong flight to Vegas to get you to Joshua Tree.
Aaron's taking the belt off my neck in the hotel room, being like, "How do I get gasoline? I don't even know." He's getting it all confused.
Yeah. There's a lot of electric cars now. I don't know where to find gas.
Next up, okay, of course, we've talked about it on the podcast before, Janis Joplin, the album Pearl with me and Bobby McGee, written by Chris Christopherson.
This song was released after she died?
Posthumous release. You never would hear her play this live.
I didn't know that.
I mean, just so incredibly sad. Now, of course, Russ has brought her up on a number of times with the places he goes to like to have a drink and eat where they have pictures of dead people on the wall. So this list is actually...
That would be the 27 Club in Fort Lauderdale.
I bet it'd be less depressing to go to like the 108 Club. You know what I mean? It's just like a bunch of old Japanese people. You're like, well, they 108. I mean,
people from Sardinia, a couple people from Costa Rica,
the Blue Zones.
Yeah. Guy who only smoked cigarettes in Vegas. I think he lived that long too. Nirvana, MTV Unplugged with this David Bowie cover of A Man Who Stole the World. This was released almost a year after Kurt Cobain's suicide. I had forgotten that they were sitting on this and released it. That must have been a huge deal when we were growing up. That must have been a giant news story.
The MTV Unplugged, the whole album came out after he died?
Yeah, way after.
And there was all that video of them then too.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
Next up, the album The Cry of Love, Jimi Hendrix and the song Angel. This is a posthumous
song.
Yes.
Now, I have to say, one of the things that has struck me in this podcast is I think Aaron said, can you imagine if Jimi Hendrix survived and got to hang out with Miles Davis? Because they had been planning on working together, right?
They were doing an album together, yeah. With Paul McCartney on bass, maybe.
Russell, do you really think it's worth it to have him on your wall of your valuable 27 club?
You know, I was thinking about, I was talking about this with the record listener in my house the other night. We were sitting there. I think I sent you guys a picture. I listened to some records, was having a drink, and I put on the Whitney Houston, is it a self-titled album, the first one, Aaron, I believe?
Yeah, the one titled Whitney Houston, yeah. Starts just saving on the left.
Yeah, it was so good to listen to. I really enjoyed it. There were no scratches on it. I'll take the $5 Whitney Houston album over the $20 Miseducation of Lauryn Hill that was all scratched up, and the other one I had that got all scratched, the Madonna. But the record listener in my house asked, what would have happened to Whitney Houston if she had lived longer? Like, would she be making records right now, or was her time past? Or like, how often do you see like stars who are huge stars, like in their 20s and still like making hit songs in their 50s, 60s?
Right. It's only Aretha, right? Or they always go through like some lost decades, like Johnny Cash. Yeah, Cher had a new Christmas song this year, right? About
no, but I can see. I mean, Cher, Life After Love. DJ, that was like
that Christmas song. I want to be dancing all night long.
I could have seen her hopping on that Cher bandwagon, where you're getting more into like electronic type stuff. Like it's a
Whitney Houston.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if they had good songs, they'd bring it to Whitney, right?
She
Otherwise, you go to Mariah Carey. Yeah. Oh,
it's hard to say with her too, because she was so unhealthy to the point where it was already affecting her voice in a way that like Mariah hasn't had to deal with. Like Mariah's dealt with it with age, but not like it was happening to Whitney early because she wasn't healthy. So but yeah, she would have had a Celine type career, right? She'd be doing, or she'd come out and do like a Grammy. There'd be like a Grammy tribute and Adele would be on, you know, that sort of thing.
Totally. Next up, okay, guys, one of our favorites. This is 3 years after he passed.
At the terror,
America 4, American 4.
So you partake of that last offered cup.
And we've said it before, if you don't own these 4 CDs,
the potter's ground.
You need to go get them.
Technically 5. I mean.
5. They are so good. They are so good.
So good that I feel like I've given away almost all of my CDs, but not these.
Yep. Can't. You know you can stream them, but you know you won't. You know if they're on CD, you're going to listen to them sometime.
Mine got thrown away in a dumpster because I wasn't allowed to bring a bunch of stuff. In a dumpster.
Russell, you know what I have to say to that? All right. Next up, 6 months to him passing. This is the man who Elvis said had the world's most beautiful voice. Okay, Roy Orbison. Can you imagine if Elvis says you have the perfect voice? God, that would be a good feeling, right?
He does have a great voice.
Now, Roy Orbison holds the record for me as a celebrity where I both want to know what his penis looked like and also feel like I have a pretty good idea what his penis looked like. I think his penis.
You have a book where you keep
That's
this
the record. That's like the on the graph. He's in the upper quadrant.
I tell you to think about Roy Orbison's penis. You could do it right now. It looks like his head. You know what I mean? It's like gray. We're all thinking of the same penis.
Hot take. If you put a picture of 10 random people in front of me and one of them's Roy Orbison, I probably can't tell you which one is Roy Orbison. I don't think I have any idea what he looks like. No idea.
Kind of looks like Elvis.
In my head, he looks like an Elvis impersonator. Yeah.
And let me show you this then. Okay, you tell me who you think Roy Orbison is in this random picture.
You'll know.
Okay,
You'll get it down to 2. You'll get it down to 2 for sure.
Okay, here's a random picture of guys.
Okay, I'll be honest. I don't know if I can.
1,
do it for
2,
sure.
3, 4, 5.
Oh, it's got to be the guy in the. He's got they all got funny glasses on. This guy with the white shirt and the black leather jacket, I would guess.
You are correct. That is Roy Orbison. And it is a tough one because they are all wearing sunglasses, okay? Unlike this one where it's just Jeff Lynne and Roy wearing them in, of course, Jefferson Traveling Wilburys.
There is something kind of uncool about rockers that are wearing like jeans and sport coats.
It feels like not a look you see a lot anymore.
Wow. I think when Marty McFly played guitar, he would have something different to say about that, okay? Because you might not like it, but your kids are going to love it.
And your mom.
Finally.
But only if it's her kid.
Guys, this one is such a big posthumous one. This is such a big posthumous track that it didn't come out until 40 years after this guy's death. Okay? See if you can spot this one. Oh, that's right. We're talking Beethoven.
Oh.
Pure release. Somebody found this written down and then played it and was like, damn, this is good. Okay, we should make every kid who learns the piano play this song. Meanwhile, Dr. Chopsticks was like, shit.
And
I had that market cornered.
My fries myself and not give any to my dumb brother. Do you guys remember the McDonald's commercial?
Oh.
Yeah, we don't have time, sir.
I was waiting. I got 3 minutes now. I was going to say, Rob, you said you wanted to keep this episode at 90 minutes, and now we're at 87 minutes, according to Mike.
87 minutes.
We haven't even listened. Got to the album.
A couple tracks.
Well, this is not a ton of songs, right? So now, from the last album, we go right into. Why is it showing me the volume? Anyway, we go right into Life After Death, basically combining Suicidal Thoughts, the last track of the last album, to talking about Diddy mourning his friend Biggie. Now, what's crazy is that you would think, oh, this album, there's so much talk of death and Biggie's death. They must have like added stuff to it after he died. No. It was all pressed. It was ready to go. It was 2 weeks. He passed away 2 weeks before this album came out. Somebody's got to die. They said he wrote this after he watched the movie Usual Suspects, which is why he has a rhyme for verbal in it.
He's already quoting himself here. It's nice. It's like he knows he's the best.
Can I ask you something? This album, everybody on TikTok was arguing, is this a better album or is All Eyez on Me by Tupac a better album? Why does everybody compare those two albums?
Well, because Biggie and Tupac All Eyez on Me, also a double album, would have come out around the same year as this. And it's just, you can't, talk about Biggie without talking about Tupac, and they were certainly in conversation by this point of their lives because they were so close to the end of their lives and had been through Who Shot Ya and Hit 'Em Up and all of it. So I think it's just that those two are so closely intertwined. But I would say stylistically, they're probably similar records, like a bunch of big name producers, overstuffed albums where they're, you consider kind of their magnum opus. So that's probably why people think of them in the same breath.
Okay. No, Russell, not that kind of magnum. You know what? I'm going to stand by that. I actually like that joke. I was going to say disappointed, but I like it. Hypnotize is his first number one, his first single on the album, built around a Herb Alpert song, Rise. It remained at number one for 3 weeks until it was kicked down by guess what song? Mmba by Hanson. That's the world we're living in.
That's almost enraging, isn't it?
That's the world we're living in 97, where a Biggie that just died is bumped on the chart by Hanson.
My sister and like all other teenage girls from that era should have to stand up and accept like we did society wrong, right?
Yep. They have to go to 3 monster truck rallies as penance.
I know this was. Go ahead, Aaron.
He just turns phrases so easy, like close like Starsky and Hutch, stick and clutch. Like he just throws stuff off for this entire album that will all of it will turn your head.
There's some cool TikToks where they'll highlight the type of rhyme in a verse, and there's just colors. They match it up with colors, and there's just random colors, and you realize how much like internal rhyming he was doing. The cadence was. I mean, you noticed in my parody song, I didn't even try to match it because you can't. You just gotta do a pastiche almost. Like it's so impossible. This is the second number one. This is the second song ever to debut at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Do you know what the only other song to do that was? Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony. And that's definitely the last time we're going to hear from. Well, okay. Thanks, Aaron. No, you know what? You got to sit in there.
I got excited.
You got to sit.
Biggie.
It's kind of a weird. So explain to me why this is. So I saw that too, Rob, and I started looking at it. It's just because. But there's dozens of other songs that hit number 1 right away. Is it just because this was released as a single that it gets treated differently, like for that type of thing, or what?
No, it debuted at number 2.
Oh.
There's no other songs that's done that before except for Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Okay.
Because I think debut at number 2 is strange because you have to be like famous, but then like not that famous. You know what I mean? Like can't be like Beatles famous where it's just like replacing themselves at number 1.
Is this the one that samples Herb Alpert?
Yes. Yeah,
oh, does it really?
Yeah, Rise.
Yeah, Rise. Here, listen.
I was reading that like there was a really big deal. It was hard to get Herb Alpert's music cleared at the time. And I think Puff Daddy like met him and was talking to him, and he was like, I was a huge, like, this is all we heard was your albums in New York when I was a kid.
Right. It's the bass line.
I think Hypnotize might be a top 5 song we've listened to, like on the whole quest. And maybe for me, it's got the pop hook, like with the Biggie, it's got the hook in it and everything, but I think it might be a top 5 to 10 song we've listened to.
But when the first note hits, you're stoked. You're just like, I know what this is. You're going to enjoy every second of it.
Yeah.
Plus, he tells you how different girls from different cities dress, and that's helpful.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like,
right. Every cutie with a booty get a coochie.
Yeah. If you live in a Watan, then they shop at Fleet Farm, stuff like that. Like it's easy to do. Kick in the Door. Puff actually hated this backing track, and Biggie had to record it in secret.
What?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like, because I feel like Premier brings out the best in Biggie. Like, this is a top 5 DJ MC combination to me.
Can I just tell you, the more I listen to this album, the more I realize that Puff Daddy brings out the worst in almost everything. Like anything where he has a heavy hand in it. I remember I asked you guys, like, oh, is he going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And you guys all laughed at me. And I realized after this album why. Because he's like too weird, corny pop. That was a diss track on R. Kelly, by the way. Or on, Nas. Okay, now we have Fuck You Tonight featuring the guy who Aaron's wearing the shirt of, R. Kelly. Listen, we all still like Ignition. We listen to it quietly in our cars. We know it's true.
This one kind of felt out of place a little bit. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
System?
Yeah.
This is one of the ones that I remember more than
Me
any of us.
too.
Like,
Yes, I remember
you
people
know.
playing a lot of it.
Yeah.
But is it just because it's so dirty?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you listen to every word that he says in his songs, I mean, as a high schooler, you're like, okay, yeah, let's.
For sure.
I
This
gotta
was like
admit, this album made me think I was going to get my nuts licked a lot more than I have in my life. He's always talking about getting his nuts licked. I'm like, well,
this was an album that every kid whose parents bought him a system in his car bought this CD, and then they would play "I'm Fucking You Tonight" to like be funny or whatever, and that's the one I heard a lot of.
yeah, you funny like a joke, like you look at them to see if they're going to laugh, or maybe if they don't laugh, they take it seriously. You're like, well, that's fine too.
When it comes to systems, did I ever tell you guys like the most uncool moment I ever had when I was in high school?
Please,
Know what
Russell.
I'm here for.
Russell,
So
oh my
I
God.
had a
if I had a time machine, I would go back to the 5 seconds ago so I could hear the story again.
So I would have had to been at least a junior, maybe a senior, because it was old enough where I could drive. So I'm 16 or whatever. I've got a car.
Okay, Aaron,
and someone
relax.
one of my friends was like looking at my car where we're driving somewhere. He goes, this is like a cool car. He's like, are you going to get any bumps in it? And like, I didn't know what he meant. Like he was talking about like, are you going to get like a system, like some big speakers or something in this, like.
And you thought he was talking like Black Eyed Peas?
I don't even know what I think I was like, wait, am I worried I'm going to like crash? Like I didn't get it. And I remember thinking afterwards, I'm like, this is about as uncool of a moment as I could ever have.
I would have thought he was talking about lovely lady lumps.
Yes.
I've been like, yeah, I'm going to try to get as many bumps in here as I possibly can. You know what I mean?
And then I'm going to go have what's it called, Rob, when you talk to your parents about what you're looking at? Accountability.
It's a porn accountability partner. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, what's that conversation like, Dad, I watch porn? Because then the next question, the thing would be like, well, all right.
I think the first question's got to be, are you paying for it? Because at least you got to convince your kid don't pay for it, right?
Well, I would say if you have followed somebody on Twitter and it turns out they're actually a good person and they are working as an independent contractor, okay, it's almost more ethical to pay for it, Russell, right? So this is Last Day featuring the Lox. Now, the Lox is a group of Jadakiss, Chic Louch, and Styles P. I played the Jadakiss verse here because you can't possibly go wrong playing the Jadakiss verse.
Aaron, nothing wrong with Jadakiss, right?
God damn it. J to the moi.
No, we were editing that out, guys. It's that simple. I just redid it. I'm a genius. Next up is Just Like Me When I'm Picking Out Ice Cream. I Love That Dough featuring Jay-Z. Now, the description of this song is that they refute the popular misconception that money can't buy happiness, and they talk about all the cool stuff they've got with money. What a great idea for a song. Line by line, the two explain the many ways in which their glamorous lifestyles are superior to those with lesser fortunes.
This is a song like this style launched, and like just entire careers were built off of rebelling against this sound and this concept.
Like who? Who's give me two.
Like Mos Def would be one. Like all of backpack rap, like half of Rhymesayers, Atmosphere. But like Mos Def and Talib are some that I can think of. Like I don't know, maybe Little Brothers. Like people who were like, "Fuck this materialistic shit," and like it sucks for sure.
But
it's unfortunate that like
I do love that dough.
It's either that on this album or like exquisitely rapped violent threats against people. Like it's a hard album to listen to as much as I love Biggie.
It's true. Notorious B.I.G. Oh, what's beef? Okay. Where he is saying that, hey, beef is not words. Beef is me doing stuff.
Right.
This got the strings. This was kind of a little haunting.
Yeah. It's like
now, I would say this, guys. What's your favorite cut of beef? If you got one cut of beef you can have right now or for the rest of your life, what are you taking? What cut of beef are we doing?
If it's for the rest of my life, I'm going to do a skirt steak.
Really? Why are you picking a skirt steak? I never think of that as the only steak.
I love skirts.
Oh, is it corny if I just say like a big T-bone because I don't know any other kind of cut of meat?
I was gonna say,
enjoy
I
yourself.
I have no idea.
I'll go ribeye.
What the best one is.
Ribeye's a good choice.
Is meatballs part of a cow? Which part is the burger? Where's the anyway? Worst cut of the beef. Okay. Oh, by the way, Jenny going to the Philippines. She's looking up food. She's like, I hope. So the person she's going with said, I want to eat all the street food. And Jenny turned to me and goes, well, she goes to eat street food. I'm going to go to the grocery store and buy Greek yogurt. I was like, this person is going to hate traveling with you, first of all. Can you imagine you're like thinking about eating scorpions and stuff, and she's like getting her Greek yogurt. I need to go to a grocery store. I can tell you going on vacation with my roommate is a lot like looking for grocery stores in foreign countries and looking to see what kind of yogurt it is and then looking at labels. Because when you're like in Greece buying Greek yogurt, calories is not spelled calories. Okay, it's not even the same alphabet. It's all Greek to me over there. You know what I mean? One of the foods she did find those where they have that bird that's not fully cooked. It's in the egg. It's like the baby bird.
She found one?
No, that's one of the popular street foods. She's like, I'll just be having yogurt. I was like, well, yeah. She goes, and the reason was because every once in a while the birds will be big enough to have a beak. She doesn't want to accidentally eat a beak.
No, it'll go down fine.
Yeah, right. You're gonna eat the rest of the bird. What's the difference,
guys? I gotta say, if I'm munching on a beak, something's gone wrong in my life. I don't need it. B.I.G.
It's like a shrimp tail.
No, we don't eat shrimp tails, Russell. Don't act like that's normal. This is a Schoolie D classic. He flipped around apparently. Mo Money, More Problems. This is such big Puff Daddy influence. Is it one of the top R&B songs of all time, Aaron? Like when you think of R&B or 90s R&B, let's say, is this like?
I don't know. I don't think of anything with a rap verse on it as R&B. No, I would think of something with one verse on it as R&B, but I wouldn't call this R&B. But it is a top pop rap song in my mind.
This is like more crossover, like mainstream hip hop, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Now, if you want to see why guys our age who lived in the 90s are so corny, watch this video. This is what we were exposed to as what we thought was cool all the time. Have you seen this video, Russell, recently?
No, it's almost 2:00 my time, Rob.
All right. So let's just watch the video real quick. Okay. And you know that I can speed up the play time, so that's not a big deal. Mo Money, More Problems. Now, this is what we were exposed to as being cool. Okay. And this is part of the problem. This is why we all suck.
The shiny suit era.
This is big time shiny suits. This is Tunnel of Lights. Okay, guys, my internet's fine. Don't make fun of my internet, please. All right. Matchings. I mean, look at this, guys. He literally looks like he just got done running a marathon. Embarrassing. Next up, N-Words Bleed.
Today's agenda got the suitcase up in the central.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, walking around New York today, listening to this song, skating at Central Park, listening to this album, it was awesome. Truly awesome.
It's a perfect skating in Central Park.
Great headphone album. Sounds great. Really, really good. Next up, I got a story to tell. Now, this is a story about Biggie having sex with a Knicks girlfriend. The Nick comes home. Biggie then has the great idea to act like a robber and then take his money. So not only do you wonder why your girl's so sleepy and thirsty when you get home, a guy took your money when you walked in your door. Humiliating. And it turns out later, John Stark said, oh yeah, it's a true story. And Big Pun came out and said it was
Anthony Mason, I think.
Anthony Mason.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Anthony Mason was a pretty tough dude. He would not be the guy I would be messing with, right?
No. No, that's not Grandmama, is it? No, that's Larry Johnson. Okay.
Anthony Mason was like on the Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing teams, kind of like point forward type guy, but a big bruising dude. It doesn't strike me as the guy I would mess with.
Scrapes, yeah.
Now, what's more depressing? Biggie having sex with your wife, your girlfriend, or your girlfriend being attracted to Biggie? You know what I mean? Like that's her type, and then you come home and you're kind of like.
I was gonna say it would probably be weird because he's like 6'8". Like Biggie's not that big compared to Anthony Mason, right?
Yeah, right.
You just walk in and you're like, "Hey, I'm home. I thought I would read my Hulk Hogan make."
Oh shit!
Wait a minute.
And then he takes my money too?
Yeah, why does he get to be on the bottom? You said that causes your hamstrings to cramp up.
This episode?
That was this episode. Listen, you guys here. I'm in for the whole thing here. Let's start the second album. Okay, let's just take. Should we take a break? Should we take a little intermission? Okay, no.
Yeah,
okay.
Everybody go out for a kitchen and get
Just
yourself a snack.
just a real quick snack.
I'm in Matt's zone. You remember when your wife asked if there was a hard stop to this podcast ending? I'm nearing it.
All right. Notorious Thugs.
I take responsibility.
This is with Bone Thugs.
Get high.
This is the second most popular one I listen to more than anything.
Yeah, this was on all the time.
I'm dangerous. Dangerous.
This was the one
No
that
hands with us.
I had forgotten about this when I heard it. Like this was like immediately it's got to go on the playlist. It's such a jam.
It's so fun too. Like not a combo you would have ever picked out.
Through my TikTok research, this was the song that where people said this is Biggie's best verse on the whole album is Notorious Thugs.
Really? I don't know if I'd agree with that, but I do love it.
Well, then, Aaron, maybe you should get on our social media and actually try to get us some listeners and some voicemails. It would really help me out. Miss You. Now, you might think, is he talking about Mississippi University? No. He claims it's about a friend of his in Brooklyn. Everybody thought it was about Tupac.
Was Tupac? Yeah, because I can't remember. Tupac died first, right?
Tupac died in 96. Yeah, he had died earlier. Another with Lil' Kim. Now, this is about cheating on each other.
This is a pretty ugly song, I feel.
Feels like a Ghostbusters song.
That too.
It feels like the synth on it or whatever. This was not mine.
It's just too cynical, the whole thing.
If you wanted to hear about Egon hitting another girl from the back, that would be like a lot like the Ghostbusters.
Oh, man, there you go.
Or Slimer.
I love... Now listen. You come home.
Yeah.
You have been working hard at the vacuum factory, Russell.
I've been podcasting all night the night before too.
And you are so tired. Okay. You only did one episode yet. You were up so late and nobody knows why. We're all looking for the guy whose problem it is. And you come in and your wife is on top of Slimer. That would be a bummer. You know what I mean? Because he's just got done eating a bunch of hot dogs. And he can fly around really fast. And yet he still gets to be on the bottom. And you know what Slimer would turn to you and say? This is our 5th time tonight.
We probably do it 5 times a night.
What was Slimer when he was alive? It makes no sense. Every other ghost in that movie looks like a person. I don't get what Slimer is. Help me figure it out. What was
accurate. He? Yeah, it's really accurate.
So strange to me. And everybody's just like, oh yeah, that's Slimer. It makes no sense.
He also had the grossest flavor of juice box. Ecto Cooler.
No, those are nasty.
You're actually wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, I drank a lot of those. They made me big and strong. Okay. Now, did I have to have my gallbladder removed when I was older? Yeah. Does that have anything to do with it? Probably not.
What if we combine OK Soda with urine? What would it taste like? Let's call it Ecto Cooler.
Plus, it was like part of a ghost. It was like, ectoplasm, one of the grossest things in Ghostbusters. We should make a drink out of that.
Do they still sell that?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't know. Russell, if you think anybody on this podcast lets their kid drink High C, Matt, do you have any juice or High C in your fridge right now?
No.
I can tell you, Russell, if you're buying stock, remember when we used to just get, in my house, we used to just get gallons of red. Like it'd just be a gallon and it would be like red. And we'd just be like, yeah, that's what we drink. It's red. It's a gallon. We love it. Like if I saw my kids drinking that, they would be punished immediately. It's crazy. And I would drink the rest of it. Next up, going back to Cali. Now, this samples Zapp's More Bounce to the Ounce. And Zapp was the guy that was on California Love. Right. And he was also on this, and you can kind of hear him on there. It's kind of fun. Yeah. So here he's talking about going back to Cali and how it's...
And he loved California.
He loves it. And again...
It's a very West Coast sound.
Such foreshadowing. It's crazy. Friend 10 Crack Commandments. Now, Russell, I'm going to do your favor. I printed out the 10 Crack Commandments. I was going to read them to you. I'm not going to do it. Okay? But don't loan money to Jeb. That was one of them. That's the one I didn't get. That surprised me.
This is about the most quoted kind of like gangster rap thing from like 1990, after Snoop and Eazy and some of those. Like this song I think everybody knows at least 3 or 4 of the commandments if you listen to a lot of hardcore rap.
And it's like your favorite rapper's favorite verse kind of thing.
Yeah.
But think about that. You know the beginning of Hypnotize in a millisecond. How many times have you said "mo money, mo problems" in your life? I mean, I think I've heard my parents say that. Like everybody knows "mo money, mo problems." Like it's crazy that just is a saying that everybody says. Ugh. It's like my dad. He's like, "Oh, I'm sick of all these pet sounds." We're always saying that around the house. Boy, this guy hates the beach in Spain. He's a playa hater. Oh, wait, no, that's playa hater. I read that wrong. Now, this song, guys, I loved. I thought it was so funny where he's like doing the Bismarcky crooning, and it's all about him robbing somebody.
It's pretty weird. I don't know if they had made a single LP, if this would have made the cut, but
what?
It's nice to have it now that he's gone. It's good to have his singing voice recorded.
We've been talking for 2 hours. You've been robbed.
Yeah.
I believe his first album was Ready to Die. And I think that made it like top 15, top 20, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
it's way up there. Yeah, it's way up there.
It's pretty high. And I don't even know if I own the book Booze and Vinyl then. So I'm going to share a cocktail I'm having tonight with you guys. It was actually for Ready to Die, but they didn't have Life After Death in the book.
This morning? You're going to share a cocktail this morning with us?
It's a mimosa.
This is technically the sign I've probably got a problem, Matt, but... So for Ready to Die, when do you think they're going to recommend you spin this? When do you want to listen to this album?
About
Ready to Die?
20
or Ready to Die instead
in the
of this
morning.
one.
Oh, when would I want to do Ready to Die?
5:26 in the morning.
Yeah, probably.
Calling me at 5:46 in the 46 in the morning.
46, you're right. Yeah. 46.
Well, but you got to set it earlier than hit the snooze a couple times, you know.
They say you want to play this when you just got a promotion and you're having a party to celebrate your new promotion.
I could see that.
Okay, as long as you don't play the last track.
Oh, Aaron HR coming in.
Yeah.
So on side B, or on side A, actually, I already missed side A, but they're recommending a Big Juicy. Have you guys ever had a Big Juicy?
I had a Juicy Lucy, but not a Big Juicy.
Who was that? My junior year of college. It was Big Juicy.
This simple yet sophisticated sipper with outsized flavor matches the easygoing vibes on Ready to Die. It is juicy. It is all good. If you didn't know, now you know. So it features 2 ounces of light rum, half an ounce of amaretto, half an ounce of lemon juice.
Oh, this is all over the place.
And a lime peel for garnish.
Yes.
All right.
It's pretty good. I did not have amaretto.
Oh, no, Russell.
But I subbed out.
Is your relationship okay? This is the first time you haven't had a drink in a long time, and I'm actually worried.
But I had a pretty good substitution. I have, is it Orgeat syrup? O-R-G-A-T.
Oh, yeah.
It's commonly used in Mai Tais, I believe. It's made of almonds, and that's kind of the flavor of amaretto. So
that's nice.
I was looking for a substitute. It had a bunch, but then I reversed the look. I said, what is a Orgeat syrup substitute? And they all said amaretto. So that filled in perfectly,
Nice.
gave it that same flavor. It's a delicious cocktail.
You could use a Jamaican rum as a nod to Biggie's Jamaican heritage. And he has a line about Jamaican rum on this album. And then it would be a little island-influenced kind of Biggie nod.
Well, I guess I'll be up till 3 in the morning then, and I'll have to call someone about my other issues.
Actually, that drink sounds good. It was a wild flavors all over the place. Nasty Boy.
He's very good at dirty sex raps.
Ladies,
very talented at it. Sky's the Limit. Have a 3-part review of his life.
The pinstripes and the gray, the one I wore on Monday.
Rags to Riches story. I was reading there. He went to this. Rob, your daughters go to different. You guys have to apply to high schools out there, right? You go to certain types of high schools, right? In New York. I was reading. He went to the same high school as 3 other famous rappers: Jay-Z.
Jay would be one.
Busta Rhymes.
Oh.
And DMX.
Whoa. I didn't realize DMX was from there too.
That's a pretty epic lineup, right?
Quite a lineup, yeah.
I tried really hard to find a 5th one so we could do a list. Couldn't find a 5th.
Can you imagine going to that school's talent show?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get up there and you're like
playing your grandma's accordion, and then
for this talent, Russell's going to play your release. Then all of a sudden, where's the hood at comes in right over your head. And you're like, not doing well. Please don't sing this. All right, so next up, the world is filled. Puff Daddy is so corny. He is so corny. He is so corny. Aaron, should this be a double album as we go with My Downfall?
Well, I mean, no, except now that Biggie's gone, it has to exist. But
the second part of it, everybody was telling on TikTok, everybody's like, this is one of the greatest double albums. I'm like, it would be a great single. The first half is so good. Long Kiss Goodnight.
Well, it is a great double album because it's got all of the last 20 tracks Biggie ever did. You could pour over every line trying to find something new.
Yeah, but does that make it a great that it's long enough? Like that's
if he were still here, this might not be where it is, or I might not have.
You would look at it
about it. No,
you would look at it differently though if they were like, yeah, he had vaulted those, and we're going to release it as as an album. You'd be like, well, yeah, of course that's not as good. You're nobody till somebody kills you. I gotta say, I really like this song, and to hear him sing it, it's just like
haunting.
I mean, obviously, to end the album like this and for him to get shot 12 days before it comes out, it's crazy. All right. Let's get into the second list that I made. Or we can go into the rating system.
No, we weren't going to be comparing anything anymore. Did you delete my whole rolling going?
In our first 178 episodes.
Better rating system. Oh, yeah.
I thought to myself, are we starting out? Are we already going to the smelling cushions bit? Like, is this that episode? And then we went way past it, guys. I think we're in the stratosphere on this one for sure. Listen, Rolling Well Toned, Rolling Boned, or Rolling Grown. This album, it's a classic. It's one of the greatest rap albums of all time. Aaron, is that crazy to say? Top 20 rap album?
Not crazy, no.
No, it's at 179 on the list. Are you kidding me? Shouldn't this be higher up on the list? If you think so, that would be a Rolling Boned. It should have been higher up on the list. If you think this album, okay, should have been lower, which of course would be a higher number, okay, so you can kind of think of it as like a teeter-totter. You put a higher number of weights on there, it's going to go lower. Guys, it's science, okay? Don't make me explain it to you. That would be a Rolling Grown if it should have been later in the list, okay? Or is this a Rolling Well Toned? It is perfect on this list, okay? It is just like Pickle Juice. And that makes me think, do you think Pickle Juice helps Biggie not pull his hamstring? Maybe that was the key.
Yeah, it worked for Roger Clemens.
Don't have time to get into why you said that. Wish I did. Okay, but the other two guys with us, Aaron, are staring off into space. We gotta go. We gotta help. We gotta help them survive. All right. Rolling Well Toned, Rolling Bone, Rolling Grown. The guys on the two coasts are living it up. Guys in the Midwest. Must be a weather thing. Russell, what do you think? Rolling Well Toned, Rolling Bone, or Rolling Grown? Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., Life After Death.
Guys, I arrived at this establishment, this podcast tonight, genuinely eager to sample another album with absolutely no desire to place one above another. Each song on this was a treat, and it was uniquely delicious. Life becomes much happier when you choose to enjoy rather than to compare. So for me, I'm going to say I really enjoyed Hypnotize and Notorious Things. Those are two of my probably top 50 songs we've listened to over the last 150 albums. I will not be ranking this album. I'm just enjoying the things I enjoyed.
Matt, Rolling Well Toned, Rolling Bone, or Rolling Grown? Notorious B.I.G.
I mean, there's so many great songs, and there's some just, it's like most double albums. There's some just absolutely corny songs. I'm trying to line them up, and I can't quite say that it's just the P. Diddy songs that are just horrible. But, I think I don't know. I mean, the foreshadowing of his death with some of these songs is just, I think that'll always override everything, being 12 days before it. So, everything that he's saying, how much is he foreshadowing? How much is he bringing that to himself? I don't know, but all in all, there's 3 or 4 absolute bangers. We don't use that anymore because somebody made fun of us once, but banger of songs, and some of them that are maybe considered even deep tracks that aren't, the radio plays, things like that. So all in all, I think this is great right here at 179. probably could be a little higher, but we'll just say it's rolling well-toned here at 179.
I just got to say, guys, I do love this podcast. I didn't know anything about Biggie before we started. I mean, I should have, because this is right in my wheelhouse of like when I was alive. But now that when you've listened to his 2 albums and you kind of understood where he was and like what was going on, it really is a crazy story. You know what I mean? It would literally be like if I died stuck in a dryer. You'd be like, damn, that's incredible. This guy, he was talking about that shit for years, and it finally happened.
How did it happen?
I mean, he's pretty close to where you live, isn't he? I mean, he grew up 5 miles away from you, something like that. He's not that far away. I don't go down
to Brooklyn. It's not way too far.
I'm just saying, but like all things considered, he's really close. Pretty darn close, isn't he?
What is the Venn diagram of kids who grew up with a milk band and also listen to Biggie Smalls?
Very high. That's a very.
Mom, Pop, can I have a system in my car? I want to get bumps. Okay, son, you can, but we're going to be a accountability buddy. Tell me, never mind.
Tell me if there's any swearing in those bumps.
Yeah. Aaron, rolling well-toned, rolling bone, or rolling groan?
It's a hard one. It's hard to listen to. There's a lot in here in terms of materialistic music that's foreshadowing what goes on with the shiny suit era and people who took the wrong messages from this music. But and it is sort of overstuffed. But this album has everything. It has the pop rap verses that we knew so well. It has the verses that other rappers study and dissect, like in I Got a Story to Tell or Kick in the Door. And it has some great production on here as well, which we didn't even talk about that much. So because it's Biggie's last document, and as you know, it is foreshadowing his death all up and down, and because it matters, I'm going to give it a rolling well-toned.
Aaron, unfortunately, you and everyone else are incorrect.
What?
No. Okay.
Shit.
This gets a rolling foreshadowed.
Wait, then Aaron's right.
Well, no.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
It's actually, and then normally I write something else about that.
Hold on. Aaron, didn't you say that this was foreshadowing his death and everything?
Yeah, didn't you say the same thing, Matt? I thought
we were right.
Yeah.
No. I was saying
right this time.
I was saying foreshadows because it was kind of like the Beatles of our time, who on stage would make foreshadows because there's 4 of them.
We had it right this time. I think we broke our streak.
Right.
No,
I think we had it
again.
You know what? I'm just gonna put a +1 in my win column today.
Notch in my belt.
Yeah,
all right.
We've gone 0 days since these guys haven't guessed what I was going to say. Next week, what does the Skunk Ape, the G-Spot, and the album Forever Changes by the band Love have in common?
The Skunk Ape.
I don't think they actually exist, and we'll talk about them next week.
When you want to hear about the greatest albums of all time, but you're just too lazy to look it
I like how I say Skunk Ape and G-Spot. You guys are obsessed with Skunk Ape.
If you want to hear 4 guys who chat and then they get off
Sounds like something Biggie would rap about.
Because you haven't found the G-Spot rap, isn't it? Don't put me and Aaron in that category.
Riding on Chrome 8s with my friend Skunk Ape.
Guys, how many times did Aaron use the phrase overstuffed in his rating? I mean, overstuffed. What are we talking about here? The Biggie Smalls double album or Scottie Pippen's ex-wife's sex life?
Oh.
Overstuffed, Aaron. You gotta be shit.
All right. I stand corrected.
Point taken. Overstuffed.
Hey, Russell, next week I want you to take me to the 2-7 club, but it's the 2-7 and the dealer has a 6 club.
Oh, yes, I'll be there.
He's on fire!
Oh, wrong one. Okay, now I got to tell another one. Matt, can you be my gambling accountability buddy next week?
Sure.
And I'm going to tell you every time I gamble.
I've got the ledger ready to go.
Oh, God, that's sick. Don't say that.